Good morning, Chicago. I am your host, Mary, for the IMTS 2022 Creators Lounge. We are kicking off day 4. It has been just an outstanding, amazing, expectation blasting 4 days at the IMTS 2022 show. We are open. We are live. People, good morning, IMTS. Okay, one more time. Good morning, IMTS. Good morning. See, there we go. Let's go. Let's get caffeinated. Let's get chatting. Let's get collaborating. We are sharing our stories. Remember to engage with us at hashtag We Are All Creators, hashtag IMTS 2022. We are live streaming all day. We are here, there, everywhere, across the halls, finding people, getting their stories, sharing innovation in manufacturing tech. We are so glad that you are with us. You can follow us at IMTS on YouTube. Stay tuned. Oh, and I can't do this myself. Heavens no. I need our influencers assemble. Ooh, that was a fun effect. That worked out great. Do it one more time. Influencers assemble. Ooh, that's like my Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey circus voice. Influencers, please, to the Creators Lounge.
Let's go boom.
Truly. Good morning again. So nice to see you. So glad you're here. So nice to see you. So glad you're here. I am joined by Jake Gurley. He is the VP of Integrated Marketing Strategy for Industrial Strength Marketing. How are you feeling this morning, Jake?
I'm well, thanks, Mary. So it's exciting to be here on Thursday at IMTS, day 4. So,
yes, it surely is. So tell us a little bit about day 3 for you. Where were you? What did you see? What did you do? Any highlights or anything? What was your highlight for you for day 3?
well, I spent a lot of time here in the metal removal hall. I don't know if I have a highlight necessarily, but something that really struck me as I was wandering around all over this hall was that blue is a very popular color here at IMTS. So quite a few companies are using blue, white as for their branding. And I don't know if that's because of an association with traditionally the sky, the sea, innovation, exploration. I totally understand that, but it also makes it difficult, I think, for people to stand out. You've got a lot of blue backgrounds with white typography and sans serif fonts. So swimming in a sea of that.
Swimming in a sea of sans serif. That's a very interesting observation, and that's so I would say fantastic and fascinating. That hadn't occurred to me. Maybe the thought crossed my mind, but it didn't settle in. And then I do think, I know Fanuc's coloring with like that bright yellow and the red. At first I was like, ooh, that's a smack to the eyes, but also notice how I know their name and I know their colors. So I love that that's one of the ways that the pillars of industrial strength marketing, how everyone thinks, that you even think in terms of color and how people relate to it. Is there anything else? I love that. Tell me more.
Well, I mean, a lot of what we've been doing here at the show is observing and, just seeing how people try to stand out and distinguish themselves. I mean, we've had some informal conversations, but observations about, patterns like that we're seeing here. Also, you have a lot of companies that I think that they're struggling to articulate, in a succinct fashion what's unique about them. A lot of folks are selling the category. They're talking particularly about features, right, related to their machinery. A lot of bullet points, a lot of like dense, text-heavy technical summaries. It makes sense, but I think you also need to be thinking about a different level, right? What is your value proposition? What are the benefits you provide to your customers? Try to draw them in that way, right?
Ooh, I love that. If you would like to learn more about industrial strength marketing and some of the ways how the amazing team thinks and advocates for you in order to take your branded content and really blast it out from the sea out of the blue sea of sans serif fonts, check out weareindustrial.com.
Yeah, that works. We'd love to talk. All right. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We'll be with our influencers soon. They are gathering. haircut, and I was like, no, I just have it up. So like, I don't know if you recognize me, but I'm kind of a celebrity at IMTS. So I don't have my card with me. I just want to get some snacks for the crew. So I'm just gonna take these. I'm just gonna take these, and if you could just like put it on my tab, okay? Okay, cool. No, no, thank you. Yeah, Mary Hines, Creators Lounge. Yep. I couldn't get. Calling all influencers to the Creators Lounge. If you would please bring yourself, your brilliance, your stories to the Creators Lounge for Influencer Insights. We are here in the Creators Lounge. I have my friends with me. We are here with we have a special guest, Chris Downs, the Director of Audience Development for AMT. Chris, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going, everybody?
Oh, a little closer to the mic there.
There we go. This is a little bit new for me, so
you're
going to have to teach me.
We're doing great. We're all teachers. We're all students. Hashtag we are all creators. So, boom. Let's go around the room. Everyone, I'd love for you. I mean, we all know. Again. And highlight from yesterday. At IMTS 2022. Wade, let's start off with you. We haven't seen much of you.
Yeah,
You've been busy across the street at Okuma.
I tell you, I've been bouncing around like a ping pong ball. So
Bouncing
it's
around
been
like a ping pong
fantastic.
ball.
My day started off yesterday at 9 a.m. in the West Hall. I did a return on investment presentation, and I'm always a nervous wreck when I do presentations in this environment. And I like public speaking. I like being in front of everybody, but yet in this environment, it's always, do you have the right topic? Are you hitting the right things that people want to hear? And I got to say, it felt good. It was a really good presentation. Ran a little bit long, so I had to kind of cut a few slides short at the end, but had a long line of people that wanted to stop and ask questions afterwards. So it always makes you feel good that you did a good job at that. Had a long line of podcasts. Did five different podcasts in our booth yesterday. I've got 4 podcasts lined up today in our booth, and look forward to another great productive day. We've had a great show so far this year.
Wow, you just set the bar very high for day 4. I'm psyched for you. I love that.
It's all good stuff.
Fantastic.
I think it's a run for the money with that Southern accent. Like, you just bring that Southern accent. Like, what's your most.
Fortunately, I feel like I don't have an accent, so it makes me very self-conscious.
So no, it's okay. So your
Can
voice,
you
we
teach
love.
me?
Yeah, not to have an accent.
No, I would like to transition towards a
the
southern
southern
accent.
accent?
Yeah, I live in Texas, and I consider myself a German cowboy.
You
Start with
cowboy.
y'all.
So I would
They
like
like
to
to
learn.
say y'all a lot.
Fabian, I'd like to speak.
Howdy,
for,
y'all.
No, they're fixing.
Fabian, I'd
to
like to
do
speak
something.
for the people, and we all need you to keep your German accent.
Yes.
Thank you, Meg. I mean, and you can.
Can you just read a book, any book, on Audible, and I'd hit it on replay?
Yep.
Okay, Bible. Done.
The Bible. Yes.
I love it. Meaghan, tell me about your yesterday.
My yesterday was fantastic. I had a high school come, and I was able to sit down with 4 of the students here. And I was really hoping that some of the manufacturers within earshot of the Creators Lounge were really paying attention to what they were saying, because not only were they talking about what they were interested in and what their passions were, but they were also explaining that they didn't know what was available as a career pathway in manufacturing and engineering and how it applied to what they were learning in high school. So again, we have an awareness problem. We also have an exposure problem. These kids want to know. All of them decided to get up super early in the morning to leave the high school by 7:30 and to be here. So they wanted to be here. They wanted to see what was available. They wanted to learn more, and they want to make a difference. Some of the kids really wanted to get into nuclear power and environmental studies. Like, what? Like, their core values are legit. So hopefully some people caught wind of what they were saying. They want to connect with anybody out on the trade show floor. So if you want to know who the students were and didn't get a chance to hear them, connect with me. I'll connect you with them, because they're looking for those mentors. They want to work with these companies. They were really excited. So yeah, I was super pumped after that interview.
I'm pumped I'm getting a residual pump from your pump. Where's Charli Matthews with pumps? I know she's right here. Awesome. We have Kristen.
Charli Matthews.
Y'all, I'm at an empowering conference right now, and I will be back tomorrow
Fantastic.
in the Creators Lounge.
Well, I'm on a great event too. Let's do this. This is awesome. It's great. I'm Scott.
We're always here for
Scott
fun.
MacKenzie.
We're always here
That's
for
what talk.
fun in the Creators Lounge. Kristen, I'm so glad that you've joined us. Would you just introduce yourself and tell the live stream a little bit about you and your maybe a highlight from yesterday, something that you really loved and were excited about?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Kristen Barchi. I'm the director of marketing at AMT, and oh my God, it's hard to pick one thing.
I know, maybe the one that like pops up to you that's like, pick me, pick me.
Yeah, so yesterday I did some booth interviews with some of our exhibitors, and honestly, just getting to hear their stories, how the show's going for them, getting to learn about, there's so many things to learn about here and dive into, and now I have a whole list of places I need to go and ask the 1,000 questions that I couldn't ask in a 5-minute interview, so I'm really excited to do that later today.
Awesome, so much fun. You have your homework set out for you. I love that. Mitch.
You guys have done a great job putting this
Yeah,
thing together.
absolutely.
I mean, everybody that I go talk to is just raving about the quality of the audience and the
yes.
and the quantity. I think it's exceeding everyone's expectations.
Yes.
So across the board there.
Do we have a number? Real quick, do we have a number?
We're north of 83,000 right now.
We're hitting
so far.
90.
North of 83.
Yeah,
We're
I
hitting
think we're
90.
gonna get to that. I think
get
we're
to
gonna
it.
get there.
We
It
are
looks
going.
good.
No,
It looks good.
I as the
We're
law.
gonna manifest it.
Yeah.
We're gonna manifest it.
Whoa! yes,
That's
yes,
in
Chris.
person, right? If you count the live
Yes.
stream, that people checking in, I dare say what that number is. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I'm sure it's a
Well,
lot
it's
more.
90,000 because that's what we're saying is happening.
Bingo. So I had two great interviews yesterday with David Modig from Modig Machine Tool, and then Paul Van Meter from Pro Shop. Both of those were very fascinating, great entrepreneurs. And then I spent quite a bit of time out looking for solutions that I actually need. You know, when you pick up a couple of new machine tools, there's a lot of other stuff you got to buy that goes along with it. A lot of tooling, tool holders, work holding, those sort of things. So I spent some time going around talking to folks at different booths about work holding solutions, especially things that work with automation. That's a big deal for us these days. So I'm trying to figure out how to do more with less skilled labor, unfortunately. So, but I'm talking about that. And then we've got a few challenging parts in our shop right now that have deburring challenges. And I know that's not a sexy topic, but it's a very important one. And we've got some parts that have some, cross holes and different things. And we had a couple of rejects from a customer lately because of some burrs that are deep down inside something that are really hard to get to. So what better place than to go around right now and talk to people that make deburring technology.
You're right where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there.
Exactly. So I did a lot of that yesterday and got a lot of education, and I'm going to continue to work on that. So great interviews yesterday and great solutions for problems that I have in my own shop.
Wow, love that.
Yeah.
James, highlight for you from day 3.
So for Mitch, it's a family affair, and so they've been ganging up on a lot of these manufacturing brands, and brought in their chief negotiators. Your daughter Mia, how old is Mia?
Almost 7.
Mia
Almost
is
7.
a complete. Mia the mini mogul. Yeah. She's a straight up mini mogul.
Yeah. Yeah, check out LinkedIn, check out the live stream. You can actually see some great stuff from Mitch on his family's journey here. And I think that's what that's exciting about yesterday and all of this. It's the manufacturing family coming together. We're finally back, and it's just more of that. And this has been my best IMTS ever, period, end of story. There's just something about the vibe. And I spoke with Christina Fugis with Mold Making Technology. She's become the face of that publication. You think about mold making technology, you think about Christina Fugis. And I interviewed her on the Industrial Strength Marketing podcast because we really wanted to celebrate women who are telling the stories of manufacturing. So that's how we became friends, and we talked about how she used that platform throughout the pandemic to keep the conversation going. And I think it's safe to say when you think of the industry, her name comes to mind. I also spoke with Christine Spiegel of Muratech and how she's come in as a new communicator, storyteller, marketer, working with that brand to help them get their story out. And that's a very powerful story we continue to see. One of the interesting things when you think about the industrial marketing world, and that's the lens I come from, and manufacturing before that, and directory industry business, and all of that fun stuff, is that in our industry, manufacturing, the marketing of manufacturing, women are actually the majority in agencies. There's actually a majority. So that is so cool. And that's something we really celebrate and love. So that's great. And then finally, last but not least, Peter Eelman. He's the Chief Experience Officer here with AMT, IMTS, the office right above us. The host is the host with the most, right? And he's been just such an advocate, and he shared his vision for IMTS Plus, the digital destination for the manufacturing community to connect, and that's the inspiration for the Creators Lounge. So it's coming full circle. It's a great day, and wow, just more fun stuff ahead. And now we have one of the best people I've worked with in a long time, Chris Downs, Director of Audience Development. How's it been for you coming to this point?
Yeah, the show's been great. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, north of 83,000 people. The buzz online is amazing, like thousands of people commenting, interacting, the hashtags, IMTS, hashtag we are all creators, just got to throw those out there. I mean, it's been fantastic. And I really think one of the cool things, just to build off the Student Summit thing, there are things in the Student Summits for adults as well. Like, I've seen tons of adults going down there just to, like, experience what it's like to, like, be a child a little bit again. There's also cool things up here for the students, like to actually see some of that stuff in action.
I was just going to mention there's 3D printed chocolate downstairs somewhere that I still need to find. So if you know that booth number, please let me know.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, I'm just curious. How far in advance did you guys conceive this Creators Lounge and pull it together?
I mean, it's been, a couple months in the making? I mean...
That's it?
Yeah, you'd like to... I mean, we start way out planning for... Yeah,
Mitch,
I mean...
they brought
crazy.
me on board a week ago.
You're kidding? What?
Nope.
We move quickly. What can I say? Yeah. There's a lot to be done. I mean, we got a huge show in front of us. We're trying to add something new, bring a new experience. And when James and his team, partnered with us on this, we really thought it was just something new and unique and something missing from the experience of the attendee.
I would have thought this was 6 months to a year in process to pull all this together.
Now, IMTS, we're already starting on 24. I should say that, but yeah, it's been fantastic. It's a great show so far. You can feel the electricity on the floor. It's funny. It's like Black Friday over at the entrance, right? People are waiting for 10 a.m. and then they're flooding in. They're going to trample some people to get into these booths up here. But
it really shows too why you need 2 years to plan it and put it 2 years in between. Because doing this type of show every year, that would get exhausting, and I would probably quit. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Well, as an exhibitor, I mean, it takes about 9 months of our resources off the market, so to speak. So our application engineers, they start the demo process for the machines out here about 9 months to 10 months in advance. They're ordering materials, and about 8 months ahead of IMTS, their full-time job is basically IMTS related. So we know certain key application engineers, when I have questions and I need resources, I can't go to them because they're focused on IMTS. I got to find other opportunities to get my answers. So it is a big undertaking from our aspect, from an exhibitor standpoint. So we need that extra year just to plan for 2024.
And we need to know, Fabian, your highlight from yesterday, day 3. You had to.
So many highlights. Started at 6:30 with the Mazda for Manufacturing run. The 5K, apparently the manufacturing crowd is very athletic because the first guy finished in 15 minutes.
What was your time?
What?
23 minutes something. It's like
that's pretty good. Yeah.
He was already napping by the time I went through the finish line. Then I gave a presentation on sustainable applications through additive manufacturing, which, as I mentioned yesterday, is one of my favorite topics. How can we, create a more a carbon-free future for the generations that are getting into manufacturing right now and their kids. And
they loved your booth, by the way.
Perfect. Yeah, it was really cool to have them. Thanks for sending them over to show the new generations. What other technologies are up and coming that hopefully future engineers can help us advance. And then the other cool thing that happened, we had TAE at our booth. TAE is a fusion power technology out of California. Their technology has been 20 years in the making. They are trying to revolutionize the energy markets by creating a fusion reactor that creates unlimited free green energy for future generations and our generations. Why?
What?
Because it's only 10 years away. Everybody
Wow.
thinks 30, 40, 50 years.
Ah, so
10
exciting.
years away. And one mind-boggling number is that their reactor needs to go up to 1 billion degrees Celsius in order to create
Is
that
that a
energy.
B?
Is that a what?
Was that a B? 1 billion?
1 billion. Correct. Their current reactor, and they have really cool names, their current reactor is called Copernicus.
Yes.
Runs at 100 million degrees today
Wow.
for 10 seconds. Their future reactor, as I mentioned, 1 billion degrees, called Da Vinci.
Yes, of course it's Da Vinci.
Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly.
When you talk about sustainability and additive, are you referring to the production process being more sustainable or the applications it enables?
Both. So additive manufacturing can have direct impacts, meaning the manufacturing process itself can be more sustainable by reducing waste, reducing energy input. But to me, the big impact is the application it enables, such as fusion technology, where through complex geometries we can pull that energy out of the reactor and enable 1 billion degrees by enabling gas turbine components through additive manufacturing to be able to fuel gas turbines with hydrogen instead of natural gas, and many other applications such as inductors that where we can reduce the energy input into inductors by 60% by removing all the soldering points and building it in one piece.
Wow, that's exciting.
So exciting. So
Are you like saying nerd alert, nerd alert?
me? Oh, I'm receiving all of this. It's being soaked. I love it. I love learning.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And also, speaking of learning, Chris, can you tell us a little bit more about audience engagement? Like, what does that mean? How do you implement that?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, IMTS is once every other year. What we're trying to do is really build a community of manufacturing year-round, though, right? I know we talk with a lot of people on the show floor. They don't always feel like they're represented in popular media, that people don't really understand the industry. So what we're trying to do is just provide a community for them, grow a community where they are understood, they are recognized, and that they can be one voice kind of out to the greater public to teach people about what's going on in manufacturing. It's not your grandfather's shop anymore. It's changed a lot.
So, what are some of the tools that you use to activate that mission and to actually like get that out there? Is it like social media? What are your channels, if you will, that you use?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're obviously all over social media. We've been getting great engagement. We're really picking up a following on there as well. And it's stuff like this. It's the Creators Lounge. It's being a little bit more accessible to people and bringing them into the community, bringing students in to actually see what we do, right? We've got probably about 10,000 students, I would say, coming in over the course of a week. You can't really replicate that easily in your own individual shop. And so IMTS is able to offer that scale and to bring people together. I mean, 83,000 people in one place talking to each other, engaging.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're already achieving past expectations. Just absolutely mind-boggling. How it's so fun. How the idea. We are sitting on an idea, and I think it's so fantastic. So I wonder, do you have any other ideas, or like I love the question, like if money weren't an option, if time weren't a problem, is there anything that you would really like to do, or is there anything that your inspiration that you've picked up, you're like, ooh, we should do this?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we've really kind of invested in over the past year or so is like video content, right? Being able to engage with people in a way that's, not just kind of an article on a website, to really like tell personal stories. Our IMTS Plus, we've got a bunch of original series on there. It's really about bringing the personal forward in manufacturing. We've got a lot of people out here on the exhibit floor that can talk technology, and you guys are great at that. We're trying to tell personal stories, make it a little bit more accessible, show the people, the culture, what's going on behind the machine a little bit.
I love the language that you used, the personal stories of manufacturing. I've been hitting the floor and doing these interviews with some of the vendors, and everyone is nervous. They want to talk shop. And I'm like, That's great. You can talk shop anytime. I want to hear about your why. I want to hear about your passion. I want to hear about your stories and your heart. And actually, we end up having better conversations when the camera is off because they're intimidated. And I was like, that's what we needed. Like, we want to hear about you. I want to hear about the human and the heart behind the machine. So, sorry. Did you have something?
I mean, how many people, when you go and walk around on the floor, are in manufacturing because their father was and their grandfather was? It's a third or fourth generation shop.
Yeah.
It's and if your family's not in it, you may not experience or come into contact with it. So how can we do a better job of exposing more people to that?
I love that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So it's day 4. It's happening. It's live. It's busy. The air is electric. So I'd love to know, day 4, what are you jazzed about? What do we have going on? Day 4.
I finally will have some time to walk the show. So see a bunch of the cool exhibitors out there, additive and non-additive related, and super pumped for that. And I get to interview a few cool people today. John Wilczynski, he's the executive director of America Makes, who runs the organization, and America Makes is a public organization, helps to advance additive manufacturing into various industries. And I get to interview Rich Stump, who is the co-founder of Fathom, and he has a really cool story on how he got into manufacturing, how he founded various organizations. And they recently also went public, so I'm sure he's got some interesting stories to tell about that.
I love that. Scott, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm just jazzed and grateful and tired and terrific. How are you?
I'm well. I had a morning meeting.
Yeah. So tell it. We're wrapping up. We're
Sorry for being late. By
no.
the way. Sorry.
We're so glad you're here. Day 4. What's in store for you for day 4?
Well, I get an opportunity to interview once again a gentleman by the name of Sid Verma. Now, he's had some changes in. He's with Hitachi Ventura. And then I just recently noticed on his LinkedIn stat card that there's been a change. And now he's a part of a new company. Of course, let's dig a little into that conversation, because I have no idea. You know?
And I
love the changes.
I love that there was a change, and I love that you sleuthed it out, and you were like, "Ooh, yum yum yum."
Oh yeah.
Let's go after that.
Hopefully, we'll see, man.
Yes.
Because you know what's happening is that there's so much speed and change taking place in industry and in manufacturing. It's always just, if you're like me, you know, it's always good to keep popping. Right?
Love it. Love
Yes.
it. Kristen, day 4. What are you excited about?
Day 4, today I finally have time to walk around and get to interact with some things. I'm going to check out the ETC today. I'm going to immerse myself in a lunar habitat.
I'm so excited. I want to go.
I've been waiting for it.
Take me with you.
Come with me.
Well, let's talk about it, because I totally want to. Ooh, Kate, wait. Let's get that. Yeah. Hey, producers, let's talk about ideas. I want to go with you.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Oh, it's a lunar date. Awesome. Okay, great. Sorry, I totally jumped on that, but I need to go.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it all week, and I haven't had the time to just be immersed.
I've been walking over the gateway, just sipping my coffee, and I'm just like, I want to go play. I want to see what's going on, get my hands on it.
Yep. That's been me.
Oh yeah, because I see you up there. We always pass each other. Oh, look at this. Look at these connections. We're all creators and storytellers. Yes, Mitch. What are you excited about today?
I have got a couple of great interviews coming up with Lindex, one of them, and the other one from Tizit. Those are going to be intriguing and interesting. After that, looking forward to connecting with some friends and that I've already got set up. I am looking to connect with Adele Ratcliffe. Her and I have been exchanging LinkedIn messages. Hey, where are you? Hey, where are you? I've got an all points bullet.
Polo.
Yeah. So I got an all points bulletin out for Adele Ratcliffe, and would love to get her a little bit on live stream as well if possible. But I'm going to meet up with some people that this afternoon and reconnect and talk about some opportunities.
I love that for you, James.
I am excited to actually get outside of the South Hall. So we've been focused.
It's got a strong pull.
Yeah, it's got a strong pull.
Get
This
out of the
Creators,
atmosphere.
lounge, keeps me a little busy here, but I'm excited to see the rest of IMTS. I'm very excited about it. And I'll have the opportunity to be on the main stage. And,
Yes, you will.
And share a little bit about
you're gonna
storytelling and
James
and the
is,
Creators Lounge.
is going to be on the main stage at 3:30.
Yeah.
With
I forgot about that.
With
Yeah.
Scott
That's
Oh yeah,
true.
you're going to be there too.
And,
Make sure you put that in your schedule.
and we're gonna be the dynamic duo out there talking to the crowd in the main promenade. So we're really excited about it. And then, but it is a somewhat day off in a sense, and I'm very excited
no
about
such
that.
thing.
And I'll just for Meaghan, she's always got a great lineup here. So you've got Sarah Tizit, Mitch, and Meaghan's got Ian Stork, founder of Stork Creative, and Andrew Crow and Manufacturing Renaissance Tour. If you're following anybody on social media and manufacturing, they've been touring forever. He's a great voice, and it speaks to the best of what manufacturing could be. Someone with high passion. So really great day. It's gonna be awesome.
Chris, bring it home.
All right, so I am looking forward to finally crossing the bridge and going over to East Hall. So technology has changed a lot in the time, but you got a lot of software stuff over there, and that stuff changes even faster. So I'm really looking forward to seeing kind of what's new, what's happening over in the East Hall, and how that connects throughout the rest of the show.
Yes, so exciting. So much going on. There aren't enough hours in the day for everything that we have, but we are capturing it live. We are, make sure you check out on YouTube, IMTS. We are live all day, streaming all day. Share all of your stories, your inspirations. Join us in the content and the collaboration and the conversation. Hashtag We Are All Creators. Hashtag IMTS 2022. I am Mary of the Creators Lounge, and I am so happy that you are here with us at IMTS 2022. Oh, yes, and so Mitch is going to be interviewing Matthew Moel, regional sales representative at Lindex. So don't go anywhere.
Hello, this is Mitch Free, live from IMTS in the Creators Lounge. Hashtag We Are All Creators. And I am excited to be here today with Matt Moel from Lindex.
Yes,
Matt,
sir.
thanks for joining me.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah. So you are a really interesting guy, which is why I wanted to get you in here. You're not, I mean, you're in sales for Lindex,
Yes,
but you're far from typical, I think.
right.
Tell us a little bit about your background in the industry, and first of all, how did you get to manufacturing in the first place?
Well, kind of really, to be honest, which is kind of a crazy, cool story.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
All right, so my father worked with Gwinnett County down in Georgia, Gwinnett County Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
All right, I wanted to be on the K-9 team. So graduating high school, you had to be 21 to be on the K-9 team. I was 18.
What was interesting about the K-9 team?
I just love dogs.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so my father-in-law now, at the
Yeah.
time was my, girlfriend's father,
Yeah.
is looking through Gwinnett Tech book and says, hey, this sounds like woodworking, except for it's with metal. So I like to work with wood. So I said, hey, I'll give it a try. So that's kind of how I got into it.
Okay.
Went to Gwinnett Tech, did machine tool technology.
Okay. So you went to trade school.
Went to trade school, took CNC after that.
Okay.
Went to work with a machine tool distributor.
Okay.
And as a sales trainee, so they
Trainee.
were looking for someone.
But how
that
much
could
did you
make
really know when you came out of trade school?
A little, but not much. But here's the next opportunity.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to go do a apprenticeship at Hardinge Machine Tool Builders.
Oh, at Hardinge.
in
Wow.
Elmira, New York.
Oh, wow.
That's where I really took off.
Okay.
Applications, working with all the different machines was very
Sure.
nice, and I got a lot of experience. That was the big kicker for me.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. I know when
apprenticeship.
I went to trade school as well. When I
Right.
came out, I had a base,
Sure.
but I thought I knew more than I really did once I
Oh,
went
yeah.
to work making real parts in a real shop.
Right.
I was humbled quickly.
Definitely.
So when you went to Hardinge, did you have a focus? Were you working on turning, milling, or?
Everything, application. So at that point, my job would be, we'd sell a machine, and I would go in, do the installation,
Okay.
do the training,
Okay.
and then typically their customer's first part or second part. So I would teach them programming and how to run the machine,
Yeah.
and leave them, ready to go. So
Yeah.
throughout the years, just multiple machine installations and turnkeys
Yeah.
and service. So I know on the floor type stuff. So I think
That's
that
got to
helps
be
me.
that's got to be incredibly challenging, because I'm sure the customers are going to throw at you the most problem of parts.
Which
They're not going to give you the easy stuff.
No, which I don't even want the easy stuff.
Right? Okay.
I like the challenge.
Okay.
Because you've worked with me, solution. I like to go in and help people.
Yeah.
I like to look for, what's your toughest thing that you're working on right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Because there's a good possibility that I've ran across it or something very similar.
Sure. That which I think is a great background, that you've seen so much real world application.
Yes.
All right. So Hardinge, then what do you do?
Continued through as service manager, applications manager. Then I went into machine tool sales.
Okay.
So machine tool sales, now I'm actually calling on a lot of the customers that I taught to program machines and run
Okay.
machines.
Okay.
So they have my trust. They
yeah.
trust me.
They trust you. They know you know what you're talking about.
Sure.
You're
Yeah.
a salesperson that has gotten their hands dirty.
Yes.
And with them in a lot of
Exactly.
cases.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, how was that transition to sales? Was it uncomfortable? Was it?
It wasn't
natural?
uncomfortable. It was natural. Just again because I love to help people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I connect with people
Yeah.
to help them. I'll tell you one of the challenges really is turning off, trying to put on a different hat, because I'm out, in sales now. We've got to sell machine tools, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm still, have my customers calling me, hey, Matt, I'm having trouble with this machine, and I'll
Yeah.
help them and then try to sell a machine and bounce back and forth. So there was a little transition kind of from there. But
Yeah. I've kind of witnessed your style through the
Right.
years of sales, and there's a I haven't read many books in my life, to be honest. I'm just not a big reader. I listen to a lot, and I'll
Right.
read a lot of papers and articles, but books, I don't have the attention span for it a lot of time. But one book that I did read was called The Greatest Salesman, and it was by John Patterson that founded NCR, National Cash Register. And I remember this quote in the first chapter of that book, and it was like, that's all I need to know. And the quote was, people love to buy, they hate to be sold.
Right. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And just present the solution, talk to them about the options, and let them buy. And I've witnessed your style, so I know that's how you operate.
Right. Yeah.
So it's that quote came to mind when I thought about that. All right. So you do that, and then fast forward, you've joined some other machine tool companies.
Yep. I've worked applications engineers, worked with Morris South on Okuma.
Okay.
Sold Mazak
Okay.
machine tools.
Good.
And so now here at
Do you have a
Lind-
favorite machine tool brand?
Yes, the ones that use Lindex nick and tool holders.
Great answer right there. Great answer right there. Okay, so all that happens, and then how did you find your way to Lindex?
You know, I've always wanted to work for a manufacturer. You know,
Okay.
I've worked for distributors, and
Yeah.
I like to kind of finite onto a single product.
Okay.
You know, you have a broad array of products. I wanted to kind of go in as a manufacturer's rep,
Yeah.
have a smaller line of products so that
Yeah.
I could be a specialist.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, you know, I feel a lot of
Sure.
times machine tool spindle specialist. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I think.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, with your pedigree, I'm sure you could walk around this show and anybody would be happy to hire you. So why did you choose Lindex?
People. I had a very good, comforting feeling with everybody.
Okay.
Energetic. It's like a family
That's
type company. You know,
Yeah.
everybody, we see each other, you know, at the summer meeting, you're hugging everybody and, hey,
Yeah.
man, how you doing?
Oh, that's
just
awesome.
a very good family style, really, environment. You know, you're rewarded for your hard work.
Right.
You know, they lay out a full, detailed, you know, what they would like for you to do.
So
you
well
know your
organized.
expectations.
That's
If you
good.
don't know your expectations, how can you meet them?
Yeah.
So we know that. So we know
That's
how to
excellent.
meet them.
And it's actually Lindex Nicken, I should probably be saying
Yes, sir.
correctly.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about the company of Lindex Nicken.
Well, you know, we have anything from 5C collets, R8 collets back in the day with Lindex. Nicken purchased Lindex, so now we have Lindex Nicken holders,
Okay.
rotary tables, presetters, shrink
Okay.
fit machines,
Yeah.
live tools, you know, accessories in your shop.
Okay.
You know, you buy a machine tool, very important thing that you know, work holding,
Yeah.
and how are you going to hold the cutting tool.
Right.
Right? I could have any brand machine, but unless I have those two factors, my
Yeah.
process is broken.
Right. Where's Lindex based?
Our headquarters is in Illinois.
Okay.
Mundelein, Illinois.
Good. Okay, so you talk about that, right? Tool holders, work holding, heat shrink, tool presetters, rotary tables. You know, when people buy a machine, they'll go spend a lot of money to buy a high-end machine.
Yes,
But it's only as good as the tooling, right?
absolutely.
And so where do you find the mentality in the market today that people are still grasping that I have a good machine, I have to buy high-end tooling? Or do you think people are saving money where they shouldn't be trying to?
Well, you know, it's funny that you say saving money because a lot of times it's just the opposite. So, you know, we use a return on investment strategy
Sure.
on everything that we
Okay.
do. A tool holder. My tool holder may be $350, and this brand X is $175.
Sure.
But that $175 tool holder cost a lot more money than the $350 tool holder cutting tools.
Yeah, yeah.
How many $100 end mills do you have to run through before this tool holder, my advanced holder, is paid for itself?
Yeah, yeah,
So lesser holders actually cost more money
yeah.
than advanced holders.
Yeah, I mean, quick, real story here. We're running some parts in my shop out of
Yep.
A286 stainless,
Yeah.
and that's really hard material to machine. And we're using these Harvey end mills from Kennametal, which are incredible. They're expensive. They're like,
Right.
I don't know, $140, $150 a piece.
Yep.
And we're getting like 6 parts per end mill. And then you stopped by and said, hey, maybe you got some run out on this thing. Maybe you're using a cheaper Cat 40 ER holder.
Yep.
Let's try a Lindex milling chuck.
Yep.
And we did. And so we doubled that life.
Oh, yeah.
Almost. We're getting 10 to 12 parts per end mill now. So if you think about it, $140, $150 end mill, and we're doubling the life, and we're running hundreds and hundreds of those parts. I mean, the payback on that milling chuck was in hours.
Before the end of the day.
Before the end of the day.
Now that, if you think about it, that milling chuck, those $147 end mills, now that milling chuck is making you $147 every time you run 3 parts.
That's an ROI, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's simple.
That is an ROI.
Yep.
Okay. So making sure your tools are held well, run out is minimized, they're not slipping out, all that stuff, super important. I think people get that. But then the next step of that, when you start getting into productivity, repeatable production, keeping spindles up, what do you recommend?
Tool presetters, number one. That's a way to keep a library of your holders.
Okay.
If you look at a presetter.
So talk to me. So I'm not sure everyone really understands what a presetter does and the value of it.
All right. So a presetter is an offline system to get your tool length offsets for your machine tool. So you buy a $300,000, $400,000 horizontal machining center that needs to be running cutting chips all the time, right? If that machine tool spindle is not cutting chips, you're not making money.
Okay.
So I'm using a $300,000 or $400,000 machine tool to touch off tools.
Okay.
No, that machine's running. I spend $20,000 on an offline tool presetter.
And is that just for length offsets?
Diameter offset, setting boring heads. I think we've talked about that a little bit before.
Yeah.
Checking run out on holders. So now that when the guy changes over to the next job, I download all of my offsets into the machine tool.
You can download them straight into the control?
Yep, I can do USB, I can do Ethernet, and then I pull the program up, hit cycle start, it automatically populates all of the offsets.
Okay.
You're ready to go. You set your fixture offset on the part, you're cutting parts again.
Okay, wow. So real productivity saving.
Absolutely.
That's another one of those things that you would say pays for itself in a hurry.
Absolutely. 6 months, 3 to 6 months, that presetter pays for itself. And we have very nice ROI calculators where we can type in how many machines you're running, what your shop rate would be.
Okay.
And it'll show you, boom, this thing pays for itself.
Right. And then talk to me for a moment. I'm not sure everyone also understands heat shrink.
Okay.
Why? And then I understand your heat shrink machine has a feature that a lot don't have.
Right, absolutely.
Talk about the value of heat shrink and that machine.
Well, on all tool holders, there's 4 main components that you're looking for, 4 bullet points. And that would be gripping force, that would be accuracy or run out, that would be rigidity or vibration dampening, and then also balance. Those are the 4 characteristics that you're looking for. Shrink fit, you have very good gripping force, you have very low run out.
Okay.
In certain applications, vibration dampening, not so.
Okay.
Because I have a stiff holder, solid carbide, there's no vibration, components. But one of the cool things about our shrink fit machine is its application. Everything's application driven, right? Everything.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about our shrink fit machine is our rotating head heater.
Okay.
So a lot of times with shrink fit, as we talked about vibration dampening,
okay.
If you break a tool on a shrink fit tool holder, it typically, right at the end of the nose of the holder or actually down inside the holder a little bit.
Okay.
It's very hard to get that out.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that. Like how are you going to get it out when it breaks in there and it's shrink fitted
right
in there? Yeah. So how do you get it out?
Our unit, we can actually rotate our heater, our induction head.
Okay.
Set the tool on top, push the button to heat our tool, and it just drops right out.
And it drops out.
Yes. Other manufacturers, you may have to try to heat it and go up underneath the thing and
push it out
with every customer that's came by our booth, and I've showed them our shrink fit machine, showed them that feature, and they're like, oh man.
It's a simple innovation, but so important.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. And when we think about shrink fit, it seems to be that it's also easier to get like long reach stuff.
Absolutely,
Because
yeah.
you don't have the head of a collet or a
It's
chuck.
narrow, small nose, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think they're starting to tell me we got to start to wind things up
Okay,
here.
sure.
So, well, what would you like to leave people with about you
Okay.
and about Lindex? Give me both of those.
Well, I would leave people with me that, really everybody in our company, guys like me, we're solution providers. We want to come into your shop like I did with my toolbox. We want to find an issue where you're having trouble. That's how we want to build our relationship with you.
Right.
Lindex Nicking, we didn't talk too much about our SK collet chuck.
Okay.
That's our, bread and butter, small diameter nose, high gripping force,
Okay.
less run out. SK, and come see us at our booth.
Yeah, Matt Moel, easy to find on LinkedIn. Great. I love the videos and things you post of your customer examples.
Yes.
I learned so much from that. You're doing a great job helping spread the word, and I appreciate the help, and I appreciate you taking the time to sit here with me today. Again, I'm Mitch Free, live here at IMTS Creators Lounge. Hashtag We Are All Creators.
Okay, let's cut to the D&D. Yeah, camera 2 looks good. So
I made
an executive decision as associate producer. Jim's brain was running out of ideas, so I decided to give him the boot. I'm going to take over as host and producer. Do we have the next segment guest ready to go? Segment guest ready to go. Great. So get camera 6 up and running. We're tune in. Mitch Free is going to be interviewing Brian Lorenzen. Can somebody give me an espresso? And we're live in 5, 4, 3. I need an egg sandwich.
Hello, IMTS 2022. I am Mitch Free here at the Creators Lounge. Hashtag We Are All Creators. And I am excited to be sitting here and going to have a conversation with Brian Lorenzo from Tizit. Welcome.
How's it going, Mitch?
Fantastic. So is this your first IMTS?
No, actually, I was here back in 2018 as well. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's really fun, though. It's been a great show. A lot of visitors here at the show. Really exciting. Yeah, been a good week.
Yeah, so what are you noticing differences between then and now? Or any?
Nothing too much. I mean, we're over in the West Hall with our booth, Tizit. You can find us over there. And
what is that booth number?
I don't know it off the top of my head, but I mean, you'll find us right in there. We got quite a large booth. And well, just a lot of guests, a lot of visitors, a lot of foot traffic. Younger people here, too. Maybe that's something that I've noticed, Yeah. The industry's starting to get a little on the young side, which is fantastic to see,
it is.
Young people interested in manufacturing, getting excited about it. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is. So tell us a little bit about you before we get into the whole technical and stuff.
So I guess I got a little bit of an interesting situation. I'm an American citizen, born in New York, and I moved over when I was about 25 years old to Austria. And I live in Austria, and I work in Germany. So we live right on the border.
So you're a New Yorker, living in Austria, working in Germany. What an interesting life you must have.
It's pretty fun and exciting. Yeah, and I'm responsible for all the markets outside of Europe for Tizit. So I bridge the gap between the headquarters in Germany and all the subsidiaries outside of Europe. So.
Okay, and how do you know if you're successful at Tizit?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we're growing and growing as a company, and we're a very large organization, very well known in Europe. But we really want to grow here in the United States as well. I mean, it's a big marketplace, and we have a really great portfolio, super well suited for this market. So that's what I would call success for Tizit as well.
So how did you get to Tizit? What did you do before that?
So I come from media and content production, and that's something that's really fun too, and something that we're starting to see. Activities like this here in the Creators Lounge, different ways of bringing industrial content, keeping it exciting and interesting, and making it really fun. One of the things that we do at Tizit is a YouTube series that we do. It's called The Cut.
The Cut?
Yeah, that's right.
And how do people find that? Just Tizit, The Cut?
You can find us on the Tizit Group YouTube channel, and we post our series there. And it's really fun. I interview people from all across our very large global organization, and it's just storytelling.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many very exciting and interesting stories within our industry, and it's really nice to try and find them and tell them and make them interesting and exciting. So.
Yeah. So what do people know Tizit for? Like.
So again, we're a hard materials specialist group. So we control the entire supply chain, to be honest, from the mine to the powder processing, which we do in Towanda, Pennsylvania, all the way to the finished product. We sinter and we finish the products as well. So we make tools, finished tools, and we make also rods, preforms, dies and blanks that other tool manufacturers make their tools out of. So our carbide, I mean, we are a carbide specialist, and we make really great carbide products.
Yeah. And so, as you guys, how long has the company been around?
So it's about 100 years of experience
in
metallurgy. Yeah. So the actual current form of the Tizit Group has been around since 2002. Two companies merged: Cerro Metal, a Luxembourg company, and Planze Tizit, based in Austria and Tyrol.
Yeah. So let's before we get into more about Tizit, let's talk a little bit more about content creation and part of what we're doing here at the Creators Lounge is highlighting creators in the creative ways. So tell us about some of the strategies you're using in order to tell the world about the Tizit story.
My number one strategy when it comes to content production is storytelling. You need to have a good story, and that's kind of sometimes the hard part and the easy part.
Yeah.
I mean, if the story is good, it's going to tell itself. We got a fantastic story that we're featuring here at our booth. We have a bike frame manufactured from a solid block of 7075 aerospace aluminum. So this is a customer of ours, works in Germany, makes normally like aerospace parts, and decided one day, hey, you know what, I want to make a bike frame. And it's milled from a solid block, so it starts out 155 pounds.
Wow.
And it ends up as a 35-pound enduro mountain bike. And the design is incredible. You know, when you're not limited to the molds for a carbon fiber frame or the welded aluminum tube that you're used to, you can get really, really creative with the design. So the frame looks like something no one's ever seen before.
Wow.
Yeah, when all that, it's all about machining the.
And do you guys have one here at your booth?
We sure do, yeah. If you guys want to come by the booth and check it out, it's really awesome to see. And our tools we used exclusively for all the cutting and manufacturing. A lot of cuts need to be made on take away that much
Sounds
material.
like a lot of metal removal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But it's aluminum, so it's good for recyclable, too. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And so is that a commercially available product or just a demo?
He does sell them, as a matter of fact. He's got a website. It's called the F-Race bike, Frace. And you can check it out, and he sells them online. You can customize it. That's one of the other real unique things about the bicycle is he doesn't have to make a medium or a large or an XL frame. He can tailor the frame to your specific riding style and needs. And,
Just scale it up, scale it down, make it on demand.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
That is Again, you just have to change the CAD file, and he can adapt the specifications to anyone's needs. So
that's a great story. You're talking about storytelling, case study, and then so. For the YouTube channel that you run, is that a story you've done on there?
It is, as a matter of fact. There's an episode on the Frace bike where we interviewed Bernd Ivanov. That's the guy who makes the bikes, the F-Race bike, and that's exactly one of those stories that we like to feature. So it actually kind of was born in the pandemic where it was really hard to travel and visit customers and get into shops. And so we decided to do kind of like a talking head YouTube show where I would just get on a Zoom call and talk to someone from our organization and a customer to kind of feature and highlight the story. And then you supplement it with, like product videos and stuff. So if we have a lot of content, we get to repurpose it there in the form of this storytelling. And, one of the big challenges we have is, being a company that's, in Europe and headquartered in Austria and Germany, a lot of our, people are not English native speakers.
Yeah, right.
We do a podcast, for example, in Germany with the German language. Podcast is like a format where, the language is critical because just in your ear, there's not much else to do it. So with the YouTube series, what I try and do is to English speaking and, I try and feature and supplement, where, sometimes the not speaking in the English native language with video and exciting material that I can overlay on top of it. So
that's an excellent point about a multinational company having to do digital marketing, multiple languages.
That's right. Good at mastering that challenge. So our catalog for our finished cutting tools, it's a big book. It's got about 75,000 products in it, and we produce that in 18 languages.
Wow.
And so, being able to produce that in 18 languages, it comes with a lot of challenges, but we do it. It's important for our customers.
Yeah.
Think global, act local.
Yeah.
When you go into a marketplace, you don't want to force them with English. We want to present it in their language that they feel comfortable with.
Yeah. Right.
We see that from a content
You want to
perspective.
think globally, act local.
That's right.
Yeah. And I imagine you guys have got a good content management system behind that.
That's right. Yeah, we do a big PIM database, product information database, and that's the way we're able to auto-populate and generate those catalogs.
Yeah. Back when I built MFG.com, we were globally, we were in a lot of languages, and I learned a lot about how to do that, and it was so intense.
Yes.
But I remember we had this sort of dictionary, if you will, behind the scenes with every word, but then we had to write also a translation. What is the context in which that word is used?
That's right. Context is super important.
Right. Because you think about the English language is complicated, and we have words like close, close.
That's right.
They're very similar, right?
So a translation memory database is something that we use, and then there's something called terminology.
Yeah.
So when we talk about an indexable insert, for example, it could be when you go to German, there's 3 or 4 different words for indexable insert.
Yeah.
But you want to be consistent, so
Right.
it's important to use that terminology.
Yeah, but I think for content creators trying to get into multiple languages, there's a lot to unravel there. But it's really important if you're a global, a multinational company that's selling all over the world.
That's absolutely right. And it's very important to us, something we pride ourselves on and take a lot of pride in.
Yeah. And so are you, what are your language skills?
So I speak fluent German and obviously English. Our headquarters for the group is located in Luxembourg.
Okay.
And that's a really unique country because it shares borders with France and Germany, and they speak French, and they speak dialect that's almost its own language on its own as well.
Wow.
You know, very interesting.
Yeah. I have spent a lot of time all over the world, but I've not been to Luxembourg.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to miss. It's quite small. But
It is. It is. So how did you come to learn German?
When I moved over there.
Okay.
So the story of me moving there is I met my wife. She was an au pair on Long Island.
Seems like it always starts with a girl.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I followed her overseas, and it's really beautiful. I live on a ski resort in the Alps, so
life doesn't get much better than that.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Good. And so, how much time do you spend in the States?
So I get back quite a bit. You know, it's nice European holidays. You know? So
of course.
we can get about 6 weeks off a year. So I come home every summer. Long Island summer is amazing. You know, boats, beaches, golf. It's good.
Right. Absolutely. So back to Cerro a little bit.
Sure.
So what's like the product that you guys like? What's the flagship? Like if you think about it in Germany, what is it like? Everybody knows Cerro for.
So I got something really exciting. We created a really innovative product called Free Turn. Actually, not just a product, but we created a machining process as well. We call it high dynamic turning.
Okay.
So if you're taking a typical lathe machine, you have a fixed cutting angle. So you come in with the insert on a fixed angle. With these new machine developments that are happening, you have the ability to turn the spindle. So it's like a mill turn center.
Right, because the spindle becomes a C-axis.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And so what we're able to do now is change the angle of the cutting tool during the cut, during the machining process. So one of the big benefits is it helps us reduce the amount of tool changes necessary, which increases your process time, your cycle times.
Yeah.
And exactly that flexibility to change the angle during the cut lets you run at even higher speeds and feeds.
And is that like just using a different edge on the end? Like you same edge, but you're like, hey, instead of cutting just on the tip, we're going to move up and cut a little bit on the side.
So we designed the insert specifically to be, tailored and suited for that type of cutting. But also, an insert, you can have two different cutting angles, for example. So you can have one that's really good for roughing material and one for finishing, all on the same insert. So instead of doing a big tool change and exchanging the insert with a screw, it turns on the C-axis, like you said. Yeah.
So you get more insert life.
Absolutely. That's right.
Yeah. And obviously more productivity because you're minimizing tool changes.
And that's the name of the game, right? The more productivity for
and did I understand correctly this is ideal for hard metals?
Be suited anything that's being turned on the lathe, to be honest. It's a really well-suited application. We have a portfolio of inserts and tool bodies that can be used for that, so it's very interesting.
So things like you guys are good at turning Inconel, A286.
Yep. Our grades,
Monel,
grades cover the whole spectrum of metals that are being machined.
Okay.
Our large portfolio really offers quite a bit of flexibility. So.
And coatings?
Yes. So we do really cool coatings. Our coatings are branded the dragon skin coatings. The skin of the dragon, super hard, and
Oh, nice.
But
I like the analogy there.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys call it?
That's right, dragon skin. Yeah, we have big giant dragon. It looks really cool. As a matter of fact, talking about stories, we had a customer that is such a big fan of our dragon that we use for the marketing.
Yeah.
The graphic itself. He got it tattooed on his arm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So he was.
That is brand loyalty.
That's right. That's what we said. Maybe we have to hire this guy.
Yeah. You got to produce T-shirts and stuff with the dragon.
Yeah.
You already have those?
Oh yeah. You can actually, if you go to our booth, you can take a picture with our dragon and you get a free T-shirt.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
I've always been envious of. I think you got some fans at the window there. Yeah.
Yeah, our booth's at 431 900.
431 900.
Yeah.
That's where you can see the bike.
Yeah, that's right.
Get a photo with the dragon. Get a T-shirt.
Yep, and learn about our cutting tools.
431 900, and that is in the
West Hall.
Yeah. West Hall. Yeah, I've always been envious of brands that have people like wearing their T-shirts and their bumper stickers. It's like the holy grail, right?
That's it, right? If you get people to love it, then
If people to love it, and it sounds like you guys have done that.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's cutting tools market, but exciting things like that, like the Dragon and stuff, they are what's really important for our industry.
Yeah.
Keep it fun and
so
exciting.
how do you guys sell? How do you go to market?
So we have a couple different approaches. In Europe, we have much more of a direct business model. We have a lot of sales guys in the field, and they sell directly to the end customers. Here in the U.S., we work a lot with distribution. As a matter of fact, we're involved with MSC, which is something you're very familiar with. Our products are in there as well. And so, we have distributors all across the USA, and you can find our products pretty much anywhere.
And they're pretty well stocking. You get it quick.
That's right. Yep. We have a big, giant global logistics facility in Germany, but we also have our warehouse in Towanda, Pennsylvania, and so
one of the things people are really thinking a lot about these days is integration into CAD systems, different things for discovering the right tool at the right moment and getting just inserted into the CAM program or whatever. Are you guys thinking along those lines?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we work with a lot of different partners and collaborate with companies for building up our database. In the States here, we work with the Machining Cloud and Tools United. So these are ways to get quick access to our product attributes and data, and also models, collision models, that type of stuff as well.
And when people are thinking about application assistance, like speeds, feeds, right insert, right cutter for the right, what material, how do you guys...
So it's our experts, our incredibly well-trained sales engineers, our guys in the field. I mean, you can have the best data and systems and information in the world, but it's still a people business, and our technological expertise is second to none.
Yeah. And is there some sort of a tool to help people when they want to discover which insert for which material?
Yeah, sure. So on our online shop, you're able to access our entire catalog of products.
What's that URL?
That's Tizit.com.
Yep.
And you can quickly get over to our cutting tools platform, cuttingtools.ceratizit.com.
Okay.
And there you can find our entire range of products and a lot of technical information. Just like you said, it's all about, you can start with a questionnaire. What is my application? What's my material? And it'll steer you right to the right products.
Right to the right
for.
one.
Yeah.
And then you can just go on MSC or anywhere else that's a distributor, and you can just find it and order it.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah. And do you have application experts here in the U.S.?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. We have a huge team of really great sales engineers that offer not just sales information, but technical support. I mean, that's almost the most critical part.
All right. So aside from the bike story, from your YouTube channel, what would be your second favorite story?
That's
which
really
episode? Which episode would you say gotta go check it out?
So we just brought out our ISO P grades, and we were able to talk not just with a product expert or someone familiar with it, but we talked with the people from the R&D. And we have a special coating which allows for wear detection, so you can really see what the status.
So it's like a visual indicator of the wear.
That's correct.
That's a really cool technology.
Yeah, and it's not just about talking about the tool itself, but with talking to the R&D team, you can get real in depth about how we approach that manufacturing process and how we achieve that. And I think that's really fun and exciting to talk about as well. The tool and its benefits and its features is one thing.
The background story people love.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good one to go check out. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm getting some cues that we're going to overtalk too long, and I think we could sit here and talk for hours. There's so much cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, Brian, thanks so much for joining us today, and great to learn more about Cerro Tizit and about you. And I see your stuff. I know you're creative at the way you're reaching people through the online channels.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I like this shirt, Mitch. Super floral. Hey.
Yeah. I've got this favorite shirt store in Paris called Nodus, Nodus. And every time I'm in Paris, I go and I pick up another unique one.
All right. Yeah.
So that's one of my shirt fetish.
I love it. Excellent. You look great. So.
Thank you so much. All right. Take care, everyone. IMTS 2022. Signing off from the Creators Lounge. # We Are All Creators.
Let's go boom. Let's go boom.
All right, once again, welcome to the IMTS Creators Lounge. We're watching all the people walk around. My name is Scott MacKenzie, host of Industrial Talk, and I am absolutely, like you, all out there, super duper happy of being at IMTS. Thank you very much. We have an incredible conversation. Sid is in the house. Sid is in the hot seat. He's with Hitachi Vantara. How are you doing, Sid? Got you off guard, didn't I?
I'm doing great, but would I be able to mimic even a fraction of your energy?
Give it a shot. Industrial Talk.
Let me try.
That's right. So you just arrived today, just today.
Today is my first day.
Are you going to be here for a couple of days, or are you just
I'm going back
out?
tomorrow.
Because you're
that's
that
the last,
important.
That's the last day of IMTS, right?
I think it goes on to Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm missing out on Saturday for sure.
You pretty much, because you're going to go to a meeting, you're going to do this, and you're going to miss out on all of this stuff out here.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, but there is did you see a trend in this IMTS which was slightly different? More robotics, more laser.
Oh, yeah.
More water technology, more abrasives.
Additives. I mean, that additive manufacturer is like going through the roof. Yeah, I interviewed a guy that does, what is it for tracing? It was for tracing. Anyway, they're able to add to the additive manufacturing the ability to be able to trace it. Nanotechnology. It just sounds cool, huh?
Yeah,
it's today. It's not yesterday. Yeah. Anyway, it's all cool. Now, for the listeners out there and the people who are watching, give us a little background, a little 411 on who Sid is.
Sid currently is managing
sporting a
IoT.
mad beard. I like your beard, man.
Sid is currently managing IoT and OT in Hitachi Vantara. But I've done many things. Like before this, I was heading industry solutions for a very large Japanese conglomerate. Before that, I was leading an industry, process manufacturing globally. But I started my career as a steel plant manufacturing consultant and an SAP consultant. So that's the 25-year journey.
How long have you been with Hitachi Vantara?
Hitachi, I'm close to my 2-year landmark in Hitachi.
Now
we call it Hitachi family, by the way, because it's a huge conglomerate. We call it a family.
It is. It's massive. But even in that 2-year time, Sid, you've seen a lot of changes.
Oh, absolutely.
Like massive changes. It's like,
many things. For example, we went ahead and shared with the world our intent, and we put our money where our mouth was. Look at all the industrial giants and look at Hitachi. The amount of investments Hitachi has single-handedly done on digital technologies, digital engineering, software engineering, and using software and digital inside the context of industrials is more than many of them put together. And I'm comparing Hitachi with Siemens, I'm comparing Hitachi with Rockwell, Fanuc, I'm comparing it with ABB, I'm comparing it with Emerson. So if you compare these organizations, Hitachi in 1 year post-COVID, I'm talking about 21, it has done more investment in digital in the context of industrials than any of them.
So it begs the question, why?
See, because 2 reasons. One, I think there is a recognition within Hitachi and in the larger industry that the machine which we knew is going to become increasingly software enabled. And the bill of material of that machine or the bill of material of that industrial contraption is going to increasingly have more software layers. So for an example, one bogie of a rolling stock passenger train today has 2.7 million lines of code. 10 years ago, it had none.
That's a heck of a stat. Yeah, that's an eye-opener.
So just imagine.
So, yeah, you see the trend. That I believe that. Now, we're here at a manufacturing show. Off the charts. What are the challenges? What are the challenges these manufacturers are dealing with?
So, see, if you ask this question to anyone, I mean, obviously, right? I mean, you are in this. You are one of the experts in this. Everyone will color.
I
the
just
answer.
chirpy chirp. You're the expert. I just listen to you.
You're the expert in what you're doing. I'm saying everyone will color the answer with their own nuance. But in my humble understanding, there are many changes happening in the end product. Let us take the example of automotive. Automotives are having a cash cow, which is internal combustion engine. That is the cash cow. But they know that they might have a Xerox moment or they might have a Canon camera moment if they do not dehyphenate themselves from internal combustion and predicate their entire strategy to BH, battery powered and electric vehicles. But do they have enough capital to start creating fresh new factories? So they need to repurpose the current factories in a very intelligent way to increase the electric vehicle manufacturing while protecting the volumes of internal combustion on the same lines, on the same capacity, with the same workforce, and most probably with the same set of suppliers. Big challenge. Look at the transformer manufacturing industry. One of our divisions in Hitachi is Hitachi Energy. They are arguably the world's largest three-phase and single-phase transformer manufacturers. I was talking to the head of sales of Hitachi Energy in North America, and he said that the lead time from taking an order to supplying a three-phase transformer used to be 16 to 17 weeks pre-COVID. And today, hold your breath, it is 78 weeks. So companies are pre-ordering what they need 6 years and 7 years down the line. So their order intake is massively more than what it was pre-COVID, but their capacity is same. So they need to find newer mechanism of increasing productivity, decrease this lead time, scavenge for the raw material, which is basically sheet metal and all the amazing tooling you are seeing in IMTS. Tap into the workforce, which is the scarcest commodity on the planet today, and then keep your customers happy and keep the lights on. Because if a transformer is failing, then the entire city or a metropolitan is going down.
I'm ready to hit the ejector seat there. I'm ready. I don't know where to go. I don't know what what's the answer? I mean, outside of the obvious, that greater asset utilization, repurposing existing assets, and all of that. Is that really the way of doing it?
No, I think the answer is I would like to steal words out of my CEO's mouth, Gajen Kandia. He says that the answer is interpreting the nuances hidden in the data better and capturing more and more data to understand how and where you're losing productivity.
See, we can definitely venture into that area where for me personally, I hear you, and if I was a business and I would say, yeah, that's great, we need to capture data, I wouldn't even know where to go. I wouldn't even know where to start. Is that good data? That good data? What if I married to what answer is being provided in that combination of data? That's where you guys shine.
No, but that's a profound observation. So you just, I think, while you were making that comment, you flirted with one of the most important problems in data. So we were just yesterday talking to one of the largest automotive manufacturing companies on the planet. And they were saying that, hey, if I take an IoT solution to a new plant, I want to do a bulk asset upload. Rather than creating one asset at a time or rather than building an RPA, they want to just press a button and take out all the assets from the plant. Now the problem is, this is impossible because the asset models have to be mapped to the target and destination.
Don't do that.
The target is maintenance oriented, the destination is prognostics and physics oriented. So there is a new concept which is creeping into manufacturing, and it's called global namespaces. So what manufacturers are being told is that, hey, you have multiple data sets with different taxonomies and ontologies. So rather than harmonizing everything, create a global namespace. So rather than harmonizing the ontology and the taxonomy of the data, start harmonizing the namespace, which means if there is an asset called Sid and if there is an asset called Kevin, so Kevin and Sid can be a global namespace, and all the attributes, the maintenance attributes, the prognostic attributes, the physics, the modeling, they can all be the sub namespaces inside the global. It's very similar to object-oriented programming.
Wow, I haven't heard that in a long time. I remember that. What's interesting, I see the need to sort of incrementally approach. I think you need to get some victories in your belt. I just think that, see, this is what and prove that out. Now, for me personally, and having multiple conversations, I hear the word edge. I hear it all the time. I hear it even in my house. Can you help us understand that?
Okay, if I'm able to do that, and if there was a Nobel Prize in manufacturing, I might be nominated for that. See, edge, and again, so I can see that all the questions are very relevant. See, edge is the most misunderstood or poly-understood phenomena I call it misunderstood or poly-understood. So there is no single definition of edge, and we can take an example of any shop floor. So on a shop floor, a machine is definitely an edge, but that machine has a bill of material, and some of the bill of materials are sensorized, so that is an edge. But that machine is harnessed on a platform, which itself is sensorized and connected to a field bus, that is an edge. The entire data is going to a Modbus, that is an edge. Then there is a network control router and network address control switchgear, that is an edge. Now, if you might have a 5G mech, that is an edge. And eventually, if you're dealing with millimeter wavelength and ultra high frequency of 5G nature, there is a POP device, that is an edge. Your security gateway is an edge. Your multi-protocol gateways on the plant are edge. Everything is edge. So again, I think we need to define what I have started calling it, and I won't claim that it is my term, but very few people call it. I call it contextual edge. See, we need to look at the outcome and the use case, and then see what is the contextual edge for that particular use case and that particular outcome.
See, and it's interesting because you brought up a good point. You named a number of items that are edge, and they are, they're right there. But for me, in my simple mind, it was I see a shop floor, I see this box over there, it's the edge, and then it sends it up to the cloud. And that's sort of, and this edge device says, oh yeah, I'm receiving data, and that data I don't need, but this data I do need, so I'll send it.
So that's a great way of simplifying everything. But today, on a shop floor, there are multiple devices which are directly connected to either a private cloud or a public cloud. And if you look at the public cloud, AWS and the Azures, they are stepping into edge. They are bringing the power of cloud into edge. If you look at the Snowball family of AWS and the Monitron device of AWS, and if you look at Stack Edge of Azure, they all are bringing the power of hyperscalers into the edge, because edge is very important, and that is why Hitachi is building and going to launch a very new concept, which we are going to call Hitachi Industry Cloud. It will have a continuum of connectivity and use case orchestration from edge to cloud, and we are going to bring...
Go ahead, keep on going, because you're touching on something there.
So we are going to bring in the crystallization of our years and years of experience in business processes and domains, templatized into libraries, data models, data architectures, and we are going to abstract the user from the complexity of where my data is getting orchestrated. So the user should not worry whether my data is getting involved with edge or a private cloud or a multi-cloud or a hyperscaler. So we are trying to build that concept, and that is something which we are working on.
That is an aha moment for me, because when you started rattling off different types of edge, fine. Of course, my mind goes to, well, those are all sources of possible data. And then for me, I'd want simple. I don't want to know about how the data sausage is made. I don't want it. I want that to be programmatically solved for me and then displayed in a way that makes me feel warm and fuzzy and makes me do my job better.
Absolutely. So the user should only be worried about outcomes and visualization and form factors. Can I access it on my mobile device, handheld, tablet, and PC, and in what form and what differences? And what will I lose between my mobile device and my PC? That's it. The user should not be worried about whether my data is going to reside in Edge, whether I'm going to archive it somewhere. Oh, do I need a private cloud? Do I need to add extra capacity? Oh, I have a SaaS and a LAS and a PaaS and a hyperscaler. Man, we are there to worry about it. We will abstract this entire Byzantine spaghetti for you.
That's it. Yeah, it's spaghetti. I don't want to see that. And if I'm in manufacturing, I know that I have all these data. I don't want to see all the sausage there, or energy, or transportation. The same thing exists.
Same thing in different
across
ways.
The board.
So different. So in every industry, there is something new which is happening. I took a small example of manufacturing. You go to utilities, the entire grid is unidirectional, generation to transmission to distribution. But now there is an element of bidirectionalism coming in. So there is no device which is completely geared towards a bidirectional grid. So the grid of the future, the renewable grid, the green grid, would be bidirectional. The smart grid. It will be bidirectional. Now to make it bidirectional, you need devices and you need the sausages in the way which are bidirectional. So the sausage factory should again be abstracted from the user and prosumer.
That's brilliant. And you don't have to come into a company or an organization or a manufacturer and say, hey, you're going to have to implement all of this stuff. No, we're going to extract, reveal the data that is necessary to make you a success, create that business that is resilient, whatever it might be. And we're just going to compress the time to data, to visualization, and then you can do your job, be more optimized, whatever it might be, whatever the term is. And that's across the board, and that's with everything. But that whole utility thing,
the utility,
that's way above my pay grade because
utility is beyond all our pay grades because it's a federal thing. It's a geopolitical thing. Look at what is happening in Ukraine and Russia. The entire war is creating an energy crisis in Europe. Now, see, if Europe keeps itself hyphenated with fossil fuels from Russia, then they are going to keep running into a very high electricity bill because Mr. Putin. But the point is, if Europe is able to dehyphenate itself in the right time and in the right ways and modernize its grid and look at green hydrogen, look at renewables, look at its own self-sustaining atomic and nuclear power, a Fukushima disaster should not be a reason to shut down all the nuclear plants in Germany.
Super thumbs up on that statement. Absolutely. Now we also I want to roll in digital twin. Okay. Now, where does digital twin play in all of this?
Digital twin is I will say it is a very close cousin of edge when it comes to complexity in understanding. So people understand it in different ways, but see the way we in Hitachi interpret and understand digital twin is a model which replicates real life. And the relative distance of time or the relative delay in time between the real life and the model needn't be real time. It totally depends upon the use case. So a digital twin can be even a 30-minute delayed digital twin. If the use case can tolerate 30 minutes of delay, or the digital twin can be a microsecond delay if the use case cannot tolerate that more than a microsecond of delay. So the use cases which govern digital twin are basically mission critical simulation.
Very good.
So if you're running a very high speed train and the wheelbase of the train needs to be digitally twinned at perhaps a microsecond, the signaling systems need to be digitally twinned at a second, And maybe the rolling stock, the carriage, and the HVAC can be digitally twinned at a 15-20 minute delay. So digital twin is basically watching and observing real life from distance.
So the reality is, Sid, if I need to get a hold of you and I need to be able to say, hey, I don't want to see how the sausage is made, the data sausage. I'm going to go to the data sausages king, and that is Sid. How do they get a hold of you? I mean, if they want to get a hold of, they're listening to this and they're saying, I hear what Sid's saying. I want to be able to get a hold of him.
So Sid is a part of a very large community of some very brilliant people in Hitachi Vantara, and I would like everyone to be invited to our labs, our innovation labs, which are in Santa Clara and which are in Detroit and Pennsylvania and Dallas. And reach out to me. I'm in, mail me, sid.sharma@hitachivantara.com.
There you go. All right. Thank you very much, Sid. Man, that was great. I love that. All right. Thank you very much for joining IMTS Creators Lounge. This is Sid, company's Hitachi Vantara, and definitely you need to tap into that data. You need to figure that out. Make that a priority. Thank you, Sid.
Thank you.